I come to a conclusion that such and such person has done or not done. So it is primarily the question of procurement, preservation and presentation of evidence, whether it is digital, actual or virtual. And expert evidence, as you all know, pregnancy test, I won't ask you how many of you have done it, but still I'll say that how many of you have heard it? Pregnancy test, car test. 3 drops of urine or something is put on that one spot and bang will come. Pregnant, not pregnant, shagalam pregnant, I don't know. But that will show you the result. It is nothing but it only gauges the presence of human chorionic gonadotrophin hormone, nothing else. Usually, pregnancy is attributed with higher level of this hormone. So, the chemical test or analysis is the presence of that. And it is interesting to note that even males, if they have a malignant tumor or something, produces the same thing. So, I put 3 of, not mine anyway. Okay, fine. 3 drops of urine and find this, what you call bar. Will any doctor say that I am pregnant? No. Then his forensic skill and clinical examination will come into play. The same thing happens in a court of law. Just because the technology or the technical experts say that this is it. No, the common sense of the judge also comes into play and he had to take the cumulative circumstances and come to a final conclusion. So let us not be alarmed that the judiciary is going to be over dependent on these technical persons. Never. Earlier also, when for the first time, what you call thumb impression, DNA fingerprinting, iris scanning was all introduced, that is biometric scanning etc. was introduced, the same doubt was expressed. My God, the judge will have to give the pen to an expert. He will say that, okay, such and such person's signature is. No, even then, against a technical expert's opinion, it's not an opinion, it's not a decision. The decision comes from the judge, the legally trained mind. This is what I said. Offer, acceptance, promise, when consideration, agreement, enforceable under law, contract. Wonderful that you all know all these things. Then there is procedural and substantial law, and the quantum of proof required is different in a civil. I'm sure that you know what a civil case and a criminal case is, right? Whatever it is. But in these two things, the quantum of evidence, in civil law, what is required is only preponderance of possibilities. When 2 stories are placed before the court from among the 2 stories, oh, this is more probable, this is more acceptable, decree. Whereas in the criminal case, the accused is presumed to be innocent until proved otherwise, and preponderance of probabilities is not the equation but beyond reasonable doubt. I'll just tell you one capital punishment. How many of you are for capital punishment? You know what capital punishment is? Death sentence. How many of you are for that? That if I commit a heinous crime, I should be hanged or gas chamber. My God, I won't commit it again. Anyone else? What is the difference between I murdering someone else? I don't want to point out anybody. If something happens, they will say that yesterday he has even threatened that I murder and witnesses are present. So, what is the difference between me murdering X or a court ordering execution of the X? Whatever be the reason, the act is same. The final act is same. One is ordinary murder, the other I would call it as judicial murder. There is a classic case of Craig and Bentley. I don't know how many of you have heard of that in UK. Where they were executed because they were charged with an offence of murdering another character, gun shootout. Later, 12 years after the execution, it was proved beyond doubt that these 2 characters could never have scientifically or otherwise murdered this person. Because at that point of time, with that gun that is doing, forensic experts or ballistic experts were brought in, and finally a decision. That is the first time this movement against capital punishment came. Likewise, in this, why I said that over dependence of experts are not there. Technology is good, but common sense also matters. Not that this technology doesn't have common sense, but the legal and the other mandates of the country, the constitutional mandates of human. Yesterday was Human Rights Day. Are you aware? World Human Rights Day was celebrated yesterday. Why? International Declaration of Human Rights, of human dignity. All these things, you cannot learn any aspect of law or technology without being aware of what's going on in and around it. There is no specialized. You know what a specialist is? A person who knows more and more about less and less. Right? In a country, in an era where EQ matters more than IQ, I'm sure that you should go broaden yourself hemispheres of study and appreciation of things. Lateral entry courses are there. Besides, also show interest in, what do you call, more or less like a preacher, something like that. I don't want to be. Then 65B, which I said, is acceptance of evidence in the electronic form. Information Technology Act earlier used the term digital signature. Now after the amendment, it is now known as electronic signature. The definition has been removed and a schedule has been added. Why? Because every time technology changes, the act will have to be amended. It was digital signature. Now what they did was they made the entire act technology neutral. So whenever anything that comes in the form of a digital signature or an electronic signature which takes in digital signature as well, it can be added in the schedule or removed from the schedule. No act need not be amended. Amending an act is a Herculean task because I don't want to go into that, how the parliament and legislature does it and all that. Now these are the good effect and the bad effect of electronic records. Very easy to make copies, very fast distribution, easy archiving and retrieval. Copies are as good as original, easily modifiable, environmentally friendly. The first 5 issues. That is why the law is so stringent also. If I am to make a defamatory statement against Mr. Bedran, earlier, what I can do is that I can use the phone and call a couple of my friends. I can print it in a press and distribute it in the roadside saying that Bedran is not good, he is such and such. Now, I can just put it in a mail and press a button, it will go to millions. The way in which it can be spread, that is why the punishment also is correspondingly high, because the magnitude of the offence is also so high. The damage that can be caused. Earlier, if I want to have an intellectual property violation by way of copyright violation, he has or she has taken a book, printed a book, a good book, Harry Potter, etc., etc. There was one incident wherein Harry Potter's book, she was going to have the first issue published and about to sign. By the time copies were already available in the net. Likewise, the way in which earlier the damage was also less, so the punishment was also correspondingly less harsh. Now, because of the magnitude of the offence, the way in which it can be perpetrated, that has become even more stringent. The court will only look for 3 things. One is authentication, report integrity and non-repudiation. If these 3 parameters can be assured by whatever manner, whether it is time stamping, whether it be using electronic signature or whatever mechanism, if you can establish before a court of law that this is the matter, it is its integrity, it can be attributed to a specific source, then the court will accept it as evidence. We trust in paper-based reports. We electronic reporting, etc. We have our own problems accepting it. We don't mind doing things which otherwise we could have done it digitally, wherein we are very apprehensive. It is, you know what an electronic signature is? Have you touched upon that? Okay, I don't want to take much of your time. It is just like smuggling. Udhar ka maal, idhar. It's just like in earlier Hindi movies you would have seen that a 100 rupee note would be cut into half. One half will be given to other. He'll say Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam, or Jai Sri Krishna or whatever. I don't have any religious connotations. I may be excused for that. I was just saying that because whose those it was Gafur Kados. Okay, something like that. Okay, I'm sorry. Gafur Kados. Something, so it's just like I show this half of 100 rupee note and if it corresponds to the other 100 rupee note, correct. So I got a public key and a private key. The public key is in the public realm, the private key is only known to me. Only if they correspond, the document is validated. The beauty of this is that smuggling 100 rupee note has to be used for whether it is silver, gold, diamond, etc. It has got nothing to do with the content. But the beauty of this public key, private key or public key infrastructure or electronic signature is that it is content specific. Any change in the content would invalidate the digital signature. So it is just like imagining that if his gold is being smuggled, your 100 rupee changes its color to golden color. Or silver is being smuggled, that note changes its color to that particular color. So it is content specific. CIA nicknamed it as confidentiality, integrity and authenticity. Now, just one word on public key infrastructure wherein I'll just ask you one question. How many occasions we have seen fraudulent and false passports? Usually we use the, in the colloquial sense we used to say that Talamarate. You change the head and put someone else's face over there. We have seen many a times that passports are being forced. Hundreds of decisions have come from the court that registered documents are fraudulently created, either by impersonation or by some other fraudulent manner. But still, we have the basic faith in the register office, we have the basic faith in the passport office, don't we? Yes. Then why can't we have this basic faith in this public key infrastructure as well? 7 levels of security, that all things has to be taken in a separate class, but my primary objective is that I would succeed in my endeavor in the presentation if at least 1% of you subscribe to this digital signature and this public key infrastructure as well and understand, assimilate and dispense this knowledge regarding these issues. Key-based certificate authority is known as public key cryptography. PKI is a combination of software, encryption technologies and facilities that can facilitate trusted electronic transactions. You know the difference between this and biometric? We lawyers are famous for one thing. Non-accident cases come, even if the patient is dead, we take a thumb impression and see to that. Just see. We'll try to get a t-shirt, a very popular design for drivers. You don't get caught for not wearing a seat belt. That will be sold in millions, but still we won't wear a seat belt. That culture has to change. If 3 of us could...
It's an honor to listen from you. I mean, you people are really efficient and effective in their own field. Now, our talk was completely on technology, which is related to computer. Now, technology and